How's it going? So I'm back and I'm here with Mantooth to test a few more things, and I have let's see how long. 4 minutes on the respec. Now before I do the respec, because one of the biggest things that I wanted to test today was solid stance. And for solid stance, there's been some discussion in the Discord about the breakpoints for poise. So when you get shot by the pistol right there, now Mantooth has equipped 1 point in Pronabindi stability. So we know that 10% or below is a resistance to the stagger. Now from the shotgun, I don't think that you're ever fully going to resist the shotgun, because even with 20% Pranabindu and solid stance, you still, if you get hit by every pellet, you know, because what does Mantooth have a shotgun? The Syndicate Impaler. Alright, and then I will put on, okay. See how it's still gonna stagger you with shotgun. I've got in this setup 3 out of 3 solid stance and Pranabindu right now. So that shotgun, this is like a tier 5 shotgun too. So this is not getting, all right, so that didn't hit all of the darts. That hit all the darts. Okay, that missed. That didn't hit all the darts. So it has to hit all the darts. And you're gonna get that stagger. Alright. Now, what is this setup that I'm using right now? Well, it's just a continuation. I spent some of the extra points from the meta build, and I was testing out some things. Now, we've been having some discussion. There was somebody on either PAX or Harmony that was getting this used against them. And what it was is they had a duo group and they were using Gravmine and getting them stuck in it with Compel. Now, we had another great showcase of this with Prides. He posted a video in the Discord where he used Stop to his advantage in the Gravmine. So today, because I was limited on skills and just, you know, I guess I could test Stop, but I really want to test Compel because Compel has a good range. And actually, so what we're gonna do now is, if we can get somebody caught in a Gravmine, you'll notice I can still Compel in here. Now he's stuck. He's just gonna stand there. And now he's broken. Alright. Now some of the caveats to this that are kind of cool. You can bring them into it. Now, the one thing about Stop is it's got a really short range cone. Now, if you can land that, and as Pride's video showed, it was very effective. Now, part of the reason with Compel is if you're running a duo group. Now, look at this range. Look at this range on Compel. This range is really good. So now, let's see. Let's just redo that. All right. All right. Now let's see if I can pull them into the Gravmine. Okay. So let's try it. Now let me spice mode to reduce the cooldown. It looks like it doesn't retroactively lower the cooldown. Alright, so let's see what we got here. I'll have the Gravmine up. And yeah, you pull them anywhere in here, I guess. And okay, he can move now. Let's see if we can get another Compel. Nope. Before the Gravmine. Now, what's the dash cost of this? In the cost, let's see. It's really not that much to dash out of it. Huh. Alright, so let's see if I can pull it in. Okay, so he's not in. Yep, and then now I can't dash. Oh, now I can walk. It just barely pulled me in. Maybe, so, let's see if we can do stop. Now, what's the range on stop? Huh. It doesn't really tell you what the range... Does it say what the range is? It doesn't say a range. That's really weird. So, I think it's like right here. Let's see. Alright, that was far enough. Oh, and look. There's that weak spot. If the shield breaks, that's shield overcharge. Alright, let's go back to compel. So, the way that this... Let's see, so you'll detonate... Alright, just like that. Okay, so this is a fun build. I actually, like, I'm not gonna lie, in 1 versus 1, in the lab entrance, and in the tunnels of the lab when you're in there, and in your fighting, you know, someone comes in when you're in the middle of a lab, that whole area, this setup, and honestly, you could spec into this from the meta setup, because it would be good to have more points in this. I just didn't have any, so you could totally take some from manipulate instability. You could take them from anywhere and put them into voice training. Now, because of the stagger, so this setup was it already had 3 out of 3 solid stance. So now what I really want to test today is if solid stance is functioning properly. So alright, so I have the respec up. And so I'm gonna have to give him the gun. Okay. Alright. Now. This will be to see if it can resist that stagger. So first of all, we know that with no Prana Bindu, stability, and then 3 out of 3 solid stance, no stagger. Okay. Am I still spice mode? There we go. Alright, so this is nothing. Actually, wait, I should probably log out for 30 seconds. Let me get the timer. Timer started. Okay, that's 30 seconds. Okay. There's knee charge. Okay. So, let's see. Is there a stagger? Oh, I need my shield on. Okay. Definitely a stagger with the pistol. Alright. Now. Let's go 1 point into solid stance. Well, I'll be damned. 1 point in solid stance. Now, with this shotgun, if I miss some of the shots, that's a... Okay, so this is shooting the top right corner, and I'm missing some of the bullets. So missing some of the bullets, and it's a stagger. So let's go to 2 points. Now same spot, over the shoulder, not staggered. That's missing a lot of bullets too, right there. Not staggered. All the bullets staggered. Pistol shot. Not staggered. Now the shield break always has a stagger. That shield break always has a stagger. I tested it with 20 Pranabindu. Okay. Now. That's funny. Alright, so that confirms it that... Yeah, so because of this shotgun thing, over the shoulder, now that was most of the bullets. Let's see. That's over the shoulder. Not staggered. That was staggering at 1. So I would suggest taking 2 at the minimum. You take 2 at the minimum, and this allows you to resist the pistol. Now, okay, so now what about the rocket? So we know that he has just, let's see, did I take it off? Yeah, he has 10% Pranabindu. And there is a stagger with that. So the only way to resist the rocket stagger is with the 3 out of 3 points into Pranabindu stability. So that would be the only way. Well, all right. Now, the biggest question is today, and let me give the pistol back. Okay. All right. So, what build am I going to go today? I want to go another, well, until they, fix Crippling Strike or do something with it, there's really no point to using it. I would rather practice with some of the other setups. Honestly, there hasn't been much PvP on my server anyways, so it's not that big of a deal what build you go right now. I'm just testing things every few days. I did see something really cool that came out of Harmony a few days ago, and it was from Echo. Forget how you pronounce his name. But they did something really cool. And the meta is constantly shifting just based on what your taste is. There's a lot of different setups. The original meta build was called the meta build because it came from the dueling grounds of Harmony a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. I've got to check the dates. And they were practicing really heavily on 1v1 duels, and then that setup came from it. And it was a really great setup. It had a lot of success, and it still is out there functioning, and you still have good pairs with the grav mine in different situations. So now what they were doing the other day that I thought was really cool was, and again, this is going to be tough for solo, but this was something that they were doing in a full group scenario. And they were all holding down the entrance or the exit with explosive grenade and assault seeker. And they had multiple people with that sending it in. So really, really, really cool setup. Now, 1v1, which is primarily what I do because I go out solo. Almost always I'm solo. The setup using compel and grav mine actually are really, you know, that's a better setup for me when I'm going in the labs. So I wanted to check out today, you know, a little bit of a Bene Gesserit setup, but I'm wondering if I should take a look at explosive grenade assault seeker, because that sounds fun, doesn't it? I don't know, to me it just sounds really fun. And I'm wondering if you could probably get death from above. So yeah, what would you get? You would get center of mass, battle hardened, and one more. Maybe death from above. Maybe death from above. That's another 20%. That would definitely one pump those shields. You wouldn't even need the gravity mine. Now this exploit weakness, this is only on unshielded. Not that beneficial to us. What about conservation of energy? Conservation of energy might be able to do it. So you'd have battle hardened, exploit weakness, and conservation of energy. You might be getting more benefit out of death from above, but the moment that you're on the ground, you don't have any benefit from death from above, when conservation of energy could be saving your life. This combined with circuit gauntlets is 19%. I mean, if it's additive, I think it is. I have to double check. You never know. Let's try it. Let's try a crazy trooper setup. We got 2 right here. We need to get up to general conditioning. We have optimized hydration. Okay. All the usual suspects here. Get vitality maxed. Alright. Now 1 point here. Alright, so this is where we decide what we're gonna do. Now, I do want to take grav mine just for slotting it, just in case. Okay, let's just make sure I'm not dehydrating. Okay. Now, Shiga wire, battle hardened. 2 points in Shiga wire. Battle hardened's gonna need to get maxed out. Alright, this. We want to take all these goodies. Yeah, I don't know about Death from Above. I do want to still take Suspensor Blast just in case. I have some options for slotting. Exploit Weakness, max. How long does this last? Duration, 10 seconds. 35% range damage? Might want to take that just in case. Alright, so get that out of here. Alright, now. Shiga wire. Let's get these. And we're going to do that. Absolutely. So, explosive grenade. Salt Seeker. Okay. We might as well take a tractor field to have some options. Range damage, max. Pistol damage, max. Rifle damage, max. And scattergun damage max. Okay. Just in case I want to take that. Wait, so... Oh, now conservation of energy. There we go. Power Trooper build. Alright, so... And why don't we take that just in case... Guns, we want to keep them not breaking, but let's see. I gotta make sure I got everything else. I didn't get optimized hydration for the stamina. Self-healing, I probably want to get self-healing. Now, let's see. So, there is also SMG damage, but I don't think I'm going to be using the SMG. I actually think what they were doing was using 2 pistols. There was another pistol to get. I'll have to go get that. And because of that, we have now some extra points. So, now, how much damage... Let's see. Wow, that lagged out like crazy. That Assault Seeker just lagged me out. Alright, so let's see. He's got his full shield up. Holy shit! That almost killed him. Look at the cooldown on these things, too. What's the cooldown in Spice Mode? Alright, I gotta heal Mantooth up. That almost killed him. All right, so where are the rest of these points going to go? I've got 22 flex points. So those 22 points can go pretty much wherever. Maybe self-healing. Oh, optimized hydrate. Well, so what's my stamina at right now? 206. So it goes up to 219. My dash is 206. It's 206 compared to getting to 219. Stamina is kind of lesser, is to the lesser degree now what you want. I could see this being flexible right now. So you could either go into optimized hydration, you could either go into self-healing. Some of the survival nodes maybe if you're still gathering in that phase. Now the guns, I'm going to be using guns a lot, repairing guns a lot. These might be really good candidates here. Now, what's the logic behind going conservation of energy and not death from above? Because death from above would be a really high damage pairing right here. And all you would have to do is maintain yourself suspensored in the air. The only thing I could think of is that if I'm ever on the ground, it is not being utilized. So then the other idea is that you go a defensive route. I make my shield as strong as it possibly can. Right now, my shield is the strongest that it can be. It has the circuit gauntlets, which is 10% minus power usage, and then you have conservation of energy, which is 9%. So it's 10% and 9%, and I actually we could probably test. I don't remember if it's 17% or 21% or 19%. I forget what the original testing was, but. Alright, so this is going to have the regular pistol because it has the most shots. I should probably go back and get that. Why is my... What? Heal! Do these healing kits suck with my healing effectiveness down? Alright, so... Whatever, fine. Tools, and then is this the repair of weapons and tools? Okay. This one I feel like is so important right here. Repairing your weapons. Now that they took that glitch out. Yeah, stamina's kind of deprioritized now. So 4 points here. All right. And then we just dump the last points into tailoring probably. Now I didn't take the dash. Now, so the dash in this setup would be counterintuitive because the dash is lowering your shields when you use it. And the whole point of this build is to have the strongest shields you possibly can. So this is going to be the outdoor explosives build. This is modeled after the build that they were running on Harmony just this past few days that I saw from some of the streams from some of the guys over there. Ico is one of them, and I'm sure there's a couple others. Alright, so what's the cooldown on these things? That broke his shield! That broke his shield! Oh my god! Wait, don't die. Holy shit. So now I've got a really strong shield. I've got my shield damage and all the cooldowns that I'm using. Oh my god. Why was it? You know what? Maybe the Crippling Strike nerf had its benefits. It allows us to try out the fun stuff. Like, look at these explosives. Look at the cooldown on this. 5 seconds and 6 seconds. Oh my god. Well, we gotta thank the guys at Harmony for continuing to play and push the limits with everything, because I would have never thought to use the Assault Seeker. What's the damage on this? 3,000 meters? Oh. 4-second cooldown, so I can just sit here and I'm just like, yeah! Got another one coming. From downtown! Boom! Wait, Mantooth, don't die! Damn, Mantooth's got the 800 shield too. Now, is the young Sparky, is that what we want to really be using here? I think we want the biggest energy pool possible, right? Because that way, that it'll have more to mitigate into. You can take a much larger hit. So this build definitely is going to be on the total pool and not the regen. You're also not going to be using Dart for Every Man. This is going to be a burst build, so it needs bursty things. Shotgun, sniper, Regis Disruptor, and I think Echo was using the green Snubnose because it has 7 shots. So it'll pair well. Anything you don't have to reload too much. Now, I bet you that this can clear a lab pretty good.
Huh? They're here.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, buddy. All right, here we go. Oh! Those guys are shooting me harder than the guys in the lab. Do you notice that? Those guys are legitimately shooting me harder. All right. Why were they shooting me so hard? Is that tuned correctly?
Found you.
All right. Now, the biggest question is, is there a stagger with that? Let me see. So, no, there's no stagger. All right, so you don't need to worry about like a rocket stagger. Yeah, that didn't even stagger either. All right. Time to go PvP with this build. Awesome. Well, this is the new version of the Rocket Man build. And the Rocket Man build was months ago. I'm pretty sure Echo was the first one to do the Rocket Man build. So credit to him. It's really, honestly, it would be really, really great. You should have seen, like, the idea of holding a choke point with like 5 grenades and seekers. I just can't even imagine that. It would be so cool. So hopefully I can take this out for a spin and get some PvP today. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. But I did want to test the solid stance. So now I will update this in the build. So you only need 2 points to resist the... Well, here's how it works. 1 point for the pistol stagger, and then if you notice the shotgun bullets, you can aim over the shoulder. And it was still staggering at 1. So if you go to 2, the over-the-shoulder shotgun does not stagger. All right. Pretty cool. So now I'm going to go pick up that other pistol. I'm going to get Mantooth out of here. And then I'm going to head into the DD today in PvP. I really want to get some engagements going. It's been really pretty much a ghost town. And I don't go fight farmers. I don't like fighting the ganking farmers. So all I have left are the crash ships and then the wrecked ships and then the labs. So anyways, all right. Well, special thanks to Echo for the idea for this build from some of his Harmony showcasings. I know that he's been running the explosive grenade since the game released. So he's one of the people that stuck with it. It's really good that he did that because now it's compelled us to take a look at some of the other setups. You know, the old meta build was definitely has its advantages, and then even combining it with compel because there's some extra points or stop is a really, really cool pairing for solo engagements. This is for the big group engagements. Big, you have 20 guys. All right, throw the grenade, throw the assault seeker. Look at that. You don't even need the gravity grenade. And because you're running conservation of energy, this is just going to be increasing your survivability. Now people are running exploit weakness. Everybody is running, or center of mass, sorry. You're going to need that shield as tanky as possible. So I'm going to go back to my base and I'm going to make the blue shield. I'm going to put the other pistol right here. So we have 2 pistols we're running. And then I'm going to go PvP. So it should be fun. If I get any footage, I will capture it. Of course, I'll link it. And I also might try to take this into a lab just to see if it can clear it. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, thank you for joining this test. I will have more that we're trying to figure out. More testing. Always, as always. Oh, and as a follow-up, I did test center of mass blade damage yesterday. I tested it thoroughly. The results I got are posted in the Discord. What I found out is that slow blade damage is 6% increase, not 20%. Light attack is 20%, and manipulated instability is 20%. So everything was functioning properly, 20%, except slow blade damage, which is still at 6% and not 20%. So, all right. I will see you guys next time.